Embracing Stoicism, a comprehensive guide to a life of purpose and resilience. In a world characterized by relentless demands, ubiquitous distractions, and an overwhelming sense of being pulled in countless directions, the pursuit of a centered, purposeful life often feels like an elusive dream. Many individuals grapple with the feeling of being adrift, tossed about by the capricious winds of circumstance, struggling to maintain a semblance of control over their own destinies. But what if there existed a timeless philosophy, a pragmatic approach to navigating the complexities of existence, offering not mere theoretical concepts but a concrete path towards reclaiming agency, fostering inner peace, and cultivating a life lived with intention? This is precisely the promise of Stoicism, an ancient way of thinking that has resonated across millennia, offering solace and guidance to individuals seeking to lead more virtuous, resilient, and fulfilling lives. Are you looking for a way to feel more in charge of your life? Sometimes life can feel like it's pulling us in all directions, making us feel lost or out of control. But what if I told you there's an ancient way of thinking that could help you take back control and find peace in the chaos? Welcome to Stoicism, a way of looking at life that's all about being wise, brave, and disciplined. It's not just a bunch of ideas, it's a practical approach to dealing with life's ups and downs, helping you to live more intentionally and in control. This rewritten guide, drawing upon the core tenets of Stoicism and infused with original insights, aims to provide a comprehensive exploration of this profound philosophy, demonstrating its relevance to the challenges of the 21st century and offering practical tools for its application in everyday life. It's a guide designed not just for passive consumption but for active engagement, inviting you to embark on a transformative journey towards a life of unwavering strength, profound purpose, and enduring inner peace. Imagine finding wisdom that has been passed down from generation to generation and is still useful today in the busy streets of New York City as it was in the Roman courts of ancient times. The great Marcus Aurelius is a great example of the ancient philosophy of Stoicism in today's busy world where outside noise can drown out our inner voice. Stoicism can help us find focus and purpose. Body, diving deep into Stoic principles and practices. 1. Core principles of Stoicism: wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. Stoicism, at its heart, is a philosophy grounded in virtue, emphasizing the development of four cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. These are not merely abstract concepts but rather practical guides for navigating the complexities of life and making sound judgments. These traits are not just ideas, they are useful tools for growing as people that can help us live a good life focused on ourselves. A. Wisdom, understanding what we can and cannot control. Wisdom, in the Stoic context, transcends mere knowledge. It is the profound understanding of what lies within our sphere of influence and what remains beyond our grasp. It's about recognizing that we have power over our thoughts, our actions, and our responses, but not over external events, the actions of others, or the unpredictable nature of fate. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, articulated this fundamental principle with characteristic clarity: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Wisdom goes beyond knowledge, it's the deep understanding of what we can control and what we can't. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher, said it best: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This understanding forms the cornerstone of Stoic practice, enabling us to focus our energies on what truly matters and to find peace in accepting what we cannot change. This wisdom provides a framework for navigating challenges with a clear and balanced perspective, allowing us to make sound decisions based on reason rather than emotion. Wisdom isn't just knowledge, it's also usefulness, which pushes us to think about ourselves and learn more. It's like Socrates' wisdom, who reportedly said he knew nothing even though he was very, very smart. His wisdom came from knowing what he didn't know and always trying to learn more. B. Courage, facing adversity with fortitude. Courage, the second cardinal virtue, is not simply the absence of fear but rather the ability to act in the face of it. It encompasses the bravery required to confront challenges, embrace the unknown, and even acknowledge our own imperfections. It's about maintaining inner strength in the midst of life's trials and tribulations, refusing to be deterred by setbacks or overwhelmed by adversity. The second virtue is courage, which is more than just being physically brave. It includes the bravery we need to face problems, the unknown, and even our own flaws in the middle of life's problems and difficulties. It's about staying strong. In his deep wisdom, Marcus Aurelius says the impediment to action advances is action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, emphasized the importance of facing difficulties head-on, arguing that difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. By embracing challenges as opportunities for growth, we cultivate a resilient spirit that enables us to navigate life's inevitable storms with grace and fortitude. It means having the resilience to face problems, moral conundrums, and unknowns. There are more parts of your courage than just your body. It's about being strong in your values even when things go wrong. This virtue is shown by the story of Nelson Mandela, who fought against racism with steadfast courage. A real example of courage is shown by his strength in the face of huge problems and his dedication to his beliefs. C. Temperance, cultivating moderation and self-control. Temperance, the third virtue, is the practice of moderation and self-control. It involves learning to regulate our desires, to live in harmony with nature, and to avoid excess in all aspects of life. It's about cultivating a balanced lifestyle that promotes inner peace and prevents us from being consumed by our wants and cravings. Temperance is the third virtue. It means learning to control yourself, live in moderation, and be in tune with nature. It means controlling our wants and staying away from too much. Marcus Aurelius told us that temperance is important for happiness. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. This virtue teaches us the value of balance and the power of a moderated lifestyle to bring about inner peace, and the Stoic teaching to find its value. Seneca added to these timeless lessons by saying we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. This quote speaks to the modern man who is often caught up in fears that don't exist and social standards. These Stoic ideals help us stay focused on our inner selves instead of stressing out about things going on around us. Temperance teaches us the value of discernment, enabling us to distinguish between what is truly necessary and what is merely superfluous. It empowers us to control our impulses, to resist temptations, and to make conscious choices that align with our values. This cultivation of self-mastery is essential for achieving inner peace and living a life of balance and fulfillment. Having temperance is like walking a wire. It helps you stay balanced in every part of your life. Think about the story of Buddha. He learned the value of a balanced life after living a life of wealth and then a life of extreme abstinence. D. Justice, acting with fairness and benevolence. Justice, the fourth virtue, extends beyond adherence to legal codes. It encompasses a broader sense of fairness, compassion, and responsibility towards others. It's about recognizing our interconnectedness with all of humanity and striving to act in ways that promote the common good. It means being a good citizen, a responsible family member, and fair in everything you do. This virtue helps people get along with each other and gives life meaning. According to Stoicism, justice means being a good citizen, a responsible family member, and fair in everything you do. This virtue helps people get along with each other and gives life meaning. The Stoics believe that individuals have a moral obligation to contribute to the well-being of society, to treat others with respect and dignity, and to advocate for fairness and equality. By embracing justice as a guiding principle, we not only enhance the lives of those around us but also cultivate a deeper sense of purpose and meaning in our own lives. Think about the story of Cincinnati, an old Roman who was a great example of this virtue. He left his farm to be a leader for Rome during a crisis, but he quickly gave up power and went back to living a simple life. When the crisis was over, putting the good of everyone else ahead of his own gain was a sign of justice in his actions. 2. Living in the present moment, embracing mindfulness and acceptance. A cornerstone of Stoic philosophy is the emphasis on living in the present moment, embracing mindfulness, and accepting reality as it is. People who follow the Stoics' philosophy say that we should accept life as it is and not try to change it or judge it. This philosophy doesn't mean giving up and letting things happen. Instead, it's a call to see things as they really are and act from that place of awareness. Stoicism teaches us that neither dwelling on the past nor anxiously anticipating the future serves any useful purpose. The past is immutable, and the future is uncertain. The only moment we truly possess is the present, and it is in this moment that we have the power to act, to choose, and to shape our experience. This means that we can't change the past or the future because they are both full of unknowns, but we have power in the moment. Life happens in a split second, but it's important to keep our attention on that one time. Seneca, a Roman senator, was the epitome of Stoic virtue, showing unshakable courage and honesty in the face of Julius Caesar's autocracy. His life is a living example of the strength and resilience that result from a relentless dedication to virtue and self-improvement. The useful wisdom in his writings encourages people to look at themselves. The practice of mindfulness, a core component of Stoic practice, involves cultivating a heightened awareness of our thoughts, feelings, and sensations in the present moment, without judgment or attachment. By immersing ourselves fully in the present, we can appreciate the beauty and richness of our immediate experience, while simultaneously reducing the anxiety and stress associated with dwelling on the past or fearing the future. One of the most important ideas in Stoicism is that we can control how we respond to things that happen around us, but not how they happen themselves. In spite of life's unavoidable ups and downs, this understanding is essential for keeping mental balance and resilience. Marcus Aurelius offered timeless wisdom here: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. A. The dichotomy of control, focusing on what we can influence. Central to the Stoic perspective is the concept of the dichotomy of control, which distinguishes between what lies within our sphere of influence and what remains beyond our grasp. Marcus Aurelius said the universe is change, our life is what our thoughts make it. We have direct control over our thoughts, actions, and responses, but we have little to no control over external events, the actions of others, or the whims of fortune. Stoicism teaches us to focus our energies on cultivating virtue, making sound judgments, and acting with integrity, while accepting with equanimity the things we cannot change. As Epictetus said, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. In this way you don't feel useless at work, but instead stay calm, logical, and aggressive. You aren't just going through the motions during the day, you are living each moment with purpose, led by quiet wisdom. By recognizing the boundaries of our power and focusing on what we can control, we free ourselves from the anxiety and frustration that often accompany attempts to manipulate external circumstances. B. Amor fati, loving our fate and accepting what is. Another essential element of Stoic practice is the concept of amor fati, or the love of fate. This principle encourages us to embrace everything that life brings, both the good and the bad, as essential components of our journey. Accepting amor fati, or the love of one's fate, teaches us to be happy with whatever life brings us, which leads to inner peace and calm. This philosophy isn't just about accepting things as they are, it's also about actively accepting all of life's events, good and bad, as important steps on the path to personal growth. Rather than resisting or lamenting the inevitable, Stoicism urges us to embrace it with open arms, seeing challenges as opportunities for growth, resilience, and self-discovery. Seneca, in his letters, emphasized the importance of accepting whatever life throws our way, stating, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." By embracing amor fati, we cultivate a sense of inner peace that transcends the vicissitudes of external circumstances. By being open to amor fati, or the love of one's fate, teaches us to be happy with whatever life brings us, which leads to inner peace and calm. This philosophy isn't just about accepting things as they are, it's also about actively accepting all of life's events, good and bad, as important steps on the path to personal growth. 3. Cultivating inner strength, resilience, virtue, and self-awareness. Stoicism is not merely a philosophy of acceptance, it is also a powerful framework for cultivating inner strength, resilience, and self-awareness. This cultivation involves developing a robust moral compass, embracing challenges as opportunities for growth, and nurturing a deeper understanding of ourselves. Focusing on how we personally deal with problems, we can become stronger and more resilient after going through them. Think about a sail or sailing a rough sea. The sailor can't stop the storm, but they can move their ship. This metaphor is like the Stoic idea that we should focus on our actions and emotions when things happen in life that we can't change. Resilience is a pillar in the deep path of Stoicism. This old philosophy tells us that we all have a huge amount of power inside us to deal with. and overcome the problems we face in life. Think of this resilience as an inner fortress that won't give in, helping you handle life storms with grace and strength. Remember that it's not enough to just get through the storm, you also need to learn how to dance in the rain. A. Resilience, embracing challenges as opportunities for growth. Resilience, a cornerstone of Stoic practice, is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to learn from setbacks, and to emerge stronger than before. Resilience in the face of hardship isn't an option but rather a way of strengthening our fortitude and making us more able to handle things that are going to be really hard to cope with. This involves viewing challenges not as insurmountable obstacles but as opportunities for growth, self-discovery, and the development of inner strength. Stoicism views any problem not as only a setback but rather as a chance to learn from it, a chance to put your values to the test, and an opportunity to see how able you are as a person. Stoicism promotes seeing every difficulty as a chance to learn and get better while developing an attitude that is not affected by what other people think or how society views things. By following this point of view, we not only have to deal with difficulties but we come out of it with a deep understanding of ourselves and a strong spirit. We can see the hidden gifts that are present in both joy and despair when we know that everything in life, everything in the whole universe works together for good. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher, said, "Fire tests gold, suffering tests brave men." B. Virtue, aligning actions with core values. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of aligning our actions with our core values, ensuring that our deeds are guided by principles such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. This means not only knowing what is right but also having the courage to act in accordance with our convictions, even when faced with social pressure or personal discomfort. By aligning our actions with virtue, we cultivate a sense of integrity and purpose that transcends external validation. To follow the road of Stoicism, you must not only understand these ideas but also live by them every day. Being aware, appreciating the present moment, and knowing the boundaries of our power are all things that Stoicism teaches us. With courage, it teaches us to deal with problems, take these lessons to heart and let them make our lives better, giving us a sense of inner strength and peace. Anyone looking for help navigating the challenges of modern life with grace and residential resilience can turn to this old but timeless philosophy for help. Stoicism puts a lot of value on virtue because it thinks it is the key to a happy life. Think of virtue as a guide that tells you what to do and how to make decisions. It's not just about having wisdom, courage, justice, or temperance. It's about incorporating these traits into your everyday life. Working on developing these traits brings you closer to your true self and helps you grow in a way that is both deep and real. C. Self-awareness, understanding our thoughts, feelings, and actions. Self-awareness, a crucial element of Stoic practice, involves cultivating a deep understanding of our own thoughts, feelings, and actions. In addition to making things easier, it gives us a more realistic picture of our personality and the way we communicate with each other. Stoicism teaches us to pay attention to our thoughts and feelings without making judgments about them so we can understand what causes them and how we can handle them in a smart way. By thinking a lot about our actions, it is possible to be objective about our mistakes and to see areas where there is room for improvement, but also to praise what we do well. Marcus Aurelius said, "Look deeply into yourself. There is a source of strength that will always spring up if you will always look there." When you think about these words, you become clear and recommit to living your life according to your values. In addition to making it easier to handle difficult situations, we can communicate with each other and the world with more sincerity and compassion when we are more self-aware. The way you see things now changes as you put effort into discovering yourself. This creates a life that is not only more realistic but also in line with your goals. 4. Applying Stoicism to modern life, practical strategies for everyday challenges. While rooted in ancient wisdom, Stoicism offers practical strategies for navigating the challenges of modern life. We will now talk about what Stoicism is all about. Stoicism is a philosophy based on 4 virtues: justice, wisdom, temperance, and courage. These traits are not just ideas, they are useful tools for growing as people that can help us live a good life focused on ourselves. By incorporating Stoic principles into our daily routines, we can cultivate resilience, reduce stress, and enhance our overall well-being. A. Managing emotions, responding with reason, not reaction. Stoicism teaches us to manage our emotions by responding with reason rather than reacting impulsively. We cannot control what triggers our emotions, but we can control how we respond to them. Seneca added to these timeless lessons by saying we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. This quote speaks to the modern man who is often caught up in fears that don't exist and social standards. These Stoic ideals help us stay focused on our inner selves instead of stressing out about things going on around us. When faced with a challenging situation, the Stoic pauses, observes their emotions without judgment, and then chooses a course of action based on reason and virtue. This practice prevents us from being swept away by our feelings and allows us to respond with greater clarity and wisdom. However, it's okay to feel things when things get hard. We practice being mindful and aware of ourselves. Take a moment to breathe before you respond. Epictetus said we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak, and this is consistent with his wisdom. B. Overcoming negative thoughts, reframing perspectives and challenging assumptions. Negative thoughts can be detrimental to our well-being, undermining our confidence and clouding our judgment. Stoicism teaches us to overcome negative thoughts by reframing our perspectives and challenging our assumptions. We learn how to question the validity of negative thoughts, to identify cognitive biases, and to adopt a more realistic and optimistic outlook. Marcus Aurelius told us if you feel alone on your stern path, loneliness might set in. Self-care doesn't mean cutting yourself off from the world, though. Join silent groups, look for teachers, or look for people who share your mind. Seneca said true happiness is to enjoy the present without worrying about what will happen in the future. By changing the way we think, we can transform our experience and cultivate a more positive and resilient mindset. C. Setting boundaries, protecting our time, energy, and mental space. In today's hyper-connected world, it is essential to set boundaries to protect our time, energy, and mental space. Stoicism teaches us to be assertive in setting limits, to prioritize our well-being, and to decline requests that drain our resources or compromise our values. By protecting our boundaries, we create space for what truly matters, allowing us to focus on our goals and cultivate meaningful relationships. Today there are lots of temptations and other things that can take our attention away from self-improvement. Set aside time every day for Stoic activities as a way to deal with this. Commit to avoiding as many distractions as possible during these times. As Epictetus said, no man is free who is not master of himself, but being impatient can also get in the way. It's simple to get angry when things don't seem to be moving forward. Stoicism, on the other hand, is an ongoing process. You get closer to your goals every day that you practice. Patience is not about waiting but being able to keep a good attitude while waiting. Marcus Aurelius told us. 5. The Stoic Giants, learning from the masters. The history of Stoicism is populated by remarkable individuals who exemplified its principles in their lives and writings. Studying the lives and works of these Stoic giants can provide invaluable insights and inspiration for our own journeys. His lessons show us how important it is to apply Stoic ideas to our everyday lives, turning virtue into a way of life instead of just an idea. Rufus's focus on how philosophy can be used in real life is very similar to the Stoic view that personal virtue has the power to change people. We learn how to focus on ourselves not in a selfish way but as a way to grow in virtue and wisdom. By looking at what they did through Stoicism, we learn that taking care of our inner selves makes us better able to help others. People who follow this philosophy are encouraged to have the 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. This makes us better able to help others. Remember what the wise Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius said: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This is what Stoicism is all about: mind control and inner strength. Focusing on our own growth and virtue not only makes our own lives better, but it also makes other people look up to us as examples of strength and wisdom. A. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor. Marcus Aurelius, 121 to 180 AD, Roman emperor and author of the Meditations, provides a compelling example of how Stoic principles can be applied to leadership and personal life. His rule was characterized by wisdom and justice and served as a live model of self-control and virtue. Focusing on personal virtue and logic, his way of life has lessons that can be used for all time in leadership and personal morality. His writings offer timeless wisdom on self-control, duty, and acceptance, providing a practical guide for navigating the challenges of leadership and maintaining inner peace in the face of adversity. His insights into the nature of human existence and the pursuit of virtue continue to resonate with readers centuries later. B. Seneca the Younger, the statesman and playwright. Seneca the Younger, c. 4 BC, AD 65, a Roman statesman, philosopher, and playwright, is known for his prolific writings on ethics, morality, and human nature. Seneca, a Roman senator, was the epitome of Stoic virtue, showing unshakable courage and honesty in the face of Julius Caesar's autocracy. His life is a living example of the strength and resilience that result from a relentless dedication to virtue and self-improvement. The useful wisdom in his writings encourages people to look at themselves. His letters and essays offer practical guidance on overcoming adversity, managing emotions, and living a virtuous life. Seneca's emphasis on the importance of inner resilience and the pursuit of wisdom continues to inspire individuals seeking to lead more meaningful and fulfilling lives. Senator was the epitome of Stoic virtue, showing unshakable courage and honesty in the face of Julius Caesar's autocracy. His life is a living example of the strength and resilience that result from a relentless dedication to virtue and self-improvement. The useful wisdom in his writings encourages people to look at themselves. Seneca's letters and writings are not just intellectual thoughts, they are also useful guidelines for living a life of virtue and peace. We suffer more often in our imaginations than in reality, he said at one point. This is a strong lesson to stay in the moment and focus on what we can change. See Epictetus, the enslaved philosopher. Epictetus, c. 50, c. 135 AD, a former slave who became a renowned Stoic teacher, provides a powerful example of how Stoic principles can be applied to overcome adversity and cultivate inner freedom. You can learn how to control your mind and feelings from Epictetus, who was a slave and later became a famous Stoic philosopher. Stoic thought is based on the idea that we can only control how we respond to things that happen to us, not what happens to us. His talks are full of wisdom on how to master yourself and build inner strength. His Enchiridion, a collection of his teachings, offers practical advice on mastering emotions, accepting what we cannot control, and living a life of virtue. Epictetus's emphasis on the power of choice and the importance of inner resilience continues to inspire individuals seeking to find freedom and purpose in the face of challenging circumstances. And be more self-aware. This habit of reflecting on yourself helps you make better choices in your relationships by giving you more information and understanding. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This quote really brings home the Stoic idea that being present and attentive in our relationships helps us connect better. Focusing on yourself makes it less likely that you will act without thinking and misunderstand something, which can lead to guilt. You instead build a life with meaning and direction. This way of thinking really hits home in today's busy world where we can easily forget about our inner peace and as a result our relationships. 6. Overcoming challenges on the Stoic path, practical solutions for common obstacles. While the Stoic path offers profound rewards, it is not without its challenges. The path to inner peace and self-mastery is a process and not a destination, and by knowing and getting ready for these challenges, those that have decided to follow the Stoic path have to stay committed and come through the other side stronger than ever. Facing your fears with Stoicism can be really worth it, but it will be hard if there is something that you're afraid to do. Think that the anxiety you feel is more about how you think about it rather than what it really is, or the other way around. To challenge your fears is to look at the worst thing that could happen so you can get to know your fears better. Stoicism provides strategies for overcoming these obstacles, allowing us to stay true to our goals and maintain our commitment to virtue. Let the words of the Stoic masters help and support you as you face these problems. They will remember you that the way you get better is just as important as the end result. Ancient philosophy's light of wisdom shines brightly as a powerful tool for self-reflection and personal growth. In order to keep going, you have to look at your life and the world around you with new eyes. Every day your health and the decisions you make can be significantly impacted by this change in your frame of mind, leading to a happier life. A. Fear of change. The unknown and being afraid of change is the biggest fear of many, but Stoicism teaches us how to treat problems like it's a good thing and a sign of progress. Change is a chance to grow, just like how Marcus Aurelius said it. Welcome it and show that your character is strong and open. Stoicism teaches us to see problems as chances to learn and grow. Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius said the universe is change, our life is what our thoughts make it. As Marcus Aurelius said, welcome change as a chance to grow. B. External pressures. It can often feel that it's hard to put your time and energy into yourself, especially when people have expectations of you and commitments like work, relationships, or what society wants from you, but it's important to prioritize your own happiness. Set strong limits and remember what you are worth. For you to take care of your mind, you have to do this. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Don't let your supposed responsibilities take away from your need to take care of yourself. C. Dealing with desires. When things like technology, social media, and even other people constantly tell us that we want the newest product, Stoicism is there to tell us that we have control over ourselves and our lives. Stoic rules can help you in your trip of self-control. You have to stay true to your values and focus on what you can control, because what is outside of you can't be controlled. That's why Seneca said, no man is free who is not master of himself. D. Impatience. It can often feel that the need for instant results makes it hard to be patient, which goes against what Stoicism stands for, that says it's not the end goal that counts but the journey. Know that getting better takes time and with effort, and being calm every day is a step in the right direction toward your goals. That's why Marcus Aurelius said patience is not about waiting but being able to keep a good attitude while waiting. E. Feeling alone. Looking at yourself and going on this path can make you feel separated from other people, but it's important to keep in mind that self-improvement is not supposed to mean isolation. In fact, making connections with other people can be the source of encouragement and help on this trip. Reach out to others and listen to those that have had similar experiences so you don't feel alone. To find out more, Seneca said true happiness is to enjoy the present without worrying about what will happen in the future. F. Emotional reaction. It's important to be aware that even with Stoicism, it's still normal and human to feel emotions even when problems have to be dealt with. Stoicism is about not letting emotions control you by practicing what Stoicism teaches, which is not saying anything or letting emotions dictate your actions. Know that you can take a step back, think things through before you react, and always put clear thought above strong emotion. That said, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Stoicism, far from being an esoteric philosophy confined to the annals of history, offers a practical and enduring guide to navigating the complexities of modern life. By embracing its core principles, cultivating inner strength, and applying its strategies to everyday challenges, we can lead more virtuous, resilient, and fulfilling lives. As we take the time to enjoy every moment of life, we need to go back to ourselves again. I know that it is possible to enjoy our own company, that is, when you are actually good, you are never alone no matter where fate puts you. Stoicism is a life-changing process, and that you are getting better with every thought. So, let's take Marcus Aurelius's words as our guide and go in the direction of self-improvement. Marcus Aurelius said, "Do not waste time arguing about what a good man should be." This quote shows how important it is to focus on personal growth rather than seeking approval from others. By focusing on getting better, we start the process of becoming the best versions of ourselves in addition to our own gain. This path gives others hope and courage. In this guide, we're going to explore the main ideas behind Stoicism and show you how to apply them to today's challenges. You'll learn how to manage your thoughts, feelings, and actions to match what's really important to you. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can change and let go of what we can't, finding peace in both action and acceptance. Remember that it's not enough to just get through the storm, you also need to learn how to dance in the rain. Stoicism puts a lot of value on virtue because it thinks it is the key to a happy life. Think of virtue as a guide that tells you what to do and how to make decisions. It's not just about having wisdom, courage, justice, or temperance. It's about incorporating these traits into your everyday life. Working on developing these traits brings you closer to your true self and helps you grow in a way that is both deep and real.